So welcome to everyone, and thank you for taking interest in today's webinar, where we'll be talking about digital transformation and legacy modernization using redSling. I'm Jeff Friedman, VP of S-Square, and I'm pleased to be co-hosting this webinar along with Harsh Dafri, Chief Revenue Officer of redSling. Welcome, Harsh.
Thank you, Jeff. Good day to everyone. It is awesome to be here with you, Jeff.
Before we proceed, let me address just a few housekeeping items. First, if the display looks small on your screen, place your cursor over the display and double-click it to expand it into full screen. Second, we welcome questions throughout the presentation, but we ask that you use the webinar Q&A button on the bottom of your screen. This will open up the Q&A chat and allow you to type your question into the chat. Now, we'll be monitoring these questions and we'll try to answer them during or at the end of the presentation in the chat, but definitely we will send answers to all attendees via email. So with that out of the way, let me proceed with our webinar by handing you off to Harsh and his team. They'll be doing the live demo, allowing you to see redSling firsthand. Harsh?
Thank you, Jeff. Good day, everyone. It is absolutely a pleasure and a privilege to be associated with the team here. And my team, which is here, is going to do something cool. And it is a must watch for all of us. So I will introduce you to Sid and Dipali. So I don't know, I think ladies first. Dipali, would you like to introduce yourself? And then we go over to Sid and give us a brief on what you plan to do here. And then Jeff and me will chat up as you're building something. Go for it, Dipali.
Thanks, Harsh, for the introduction. Hey, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. My name is Dipali Naidu, and I have had a pleasure of working with redSling as an application developer. As Harsh mentioned, I was closely associated with the inception of the product. I'm so excited to show you how easy and simpler it is to build a lead management module using redSling, our powerful and no-code platform. We'll walk you through the process step by step, demonstrating how you can create a functional and effective system without writing a single line of code. Our goal here is to help you streamline your lead management process, making it simpler and more effective. So to track and nurture your potential customer. So let's dive into and see how redSling can transform your lead management process.
Thank you for the introduction. Yes. Hey everyone, my name is Sadan Kate and I hail from Pune in India. Being a part of the application development team, I'm really looking forward to showing you all just how intuitive our platform redSling can be. As we build this lead management module together, you'll see firsthand how user-friendly the platform is, even if you have less or no coding experience. We'll start by setting up our lead capture form and then move on to assigning said leads to different users within the organization. And by the end of the session, you'll have a comprehensive understanding of how to leverage redSling for your own lead management needs. Let's get started. Before we begin with the actual development of a simple admin dashboard, I would like to show our audience a snapshot of what we would like to replicate for the session today, complete with a few cards and some chart data and some table data. This is what we would be building for the session. I will now move on to our builder, where the first step I will be following is creating or designing our very unique feature within the platform, template fragment. It is a reusable section which can be used across multiple screens within the project. And while I'm designing this fragment, Dipali, why don't you take our audience through what the template fragment actually does?
Sure, Siddhant. So, as Siddhant explained, the template fragment is a reusable structure that cut down our extra efforts. This can be used in multiple pages throughout our dashboard. So here you can create navigations, menus, drop downs, or maybe a side menu and footer, etc. So that we can use this in the different pages. So here, as you can see, we are building a side panel for our main dashboard. In the left hand side, you can see the widgetized section, and the right hand side, when you click on any widget structure, a right side panel opens up which shows you a column structure, basic design layouts and manage style sections. So here individually we can design a particular element. Like if you want to add an image, you can individually add its width, size, and give it padding and margin. According to that, we can use certain buttons so that it can be redirected to different pages. It may be internally or externally using the APIs.
Yeah, go for it, Dipali and Sid. So, for all the audience, good day again, coming in to explain what we are and what we do. So, there are 5 USPs of redSling as a platform. One is zero code lock-in. There's no lock-in at all. Most of the platforms have got platform as a service, and there is a lock-in. There's clear, predictable pricing. We can deploy the application absolutely anywhere, and there is advanced UI and UX capabilities which you're actually seeing when it is getting built. And this is not in fast action. This is a real-time action which Sid and Dipali are working with us. Obviously, one of the USPs is collaborative development. Let me invite Jeff here, as a thought leader. Jeff, I want to ask you 2 questions, but I'll begin with the first one, the easy one. As a thought leader, you have been interacting with CIOs and CTOs, throughout your career. And what are the major pain points you have come across from the CTO or the CIO community?
That's too long of a list to answer in the time that we've got in this webinar. But the chance of the issues that the issues that I hear them talking the most about today is, first and foremost, trying to get resources and to be able to have those resources skilled in the technologies that they need to utilize. So when they have a wide variety of different technologies in place, they end up with difficulty of staffing that. And that's why a lot of times they steer away from different things, except for very mainstream COTS solutions in the ERP, in the CRM, and the HR systems, right? Other than that, they tend to go back to the traditional legacy programming. But that also means that there's still a challenge to get resources, and they're still spending a lot of time and money doing their projects. And that's the second issue. How do they keep up with the demands of the business while at the same time doing more with less? And then thirdly, they need to be able to ensure that whatever they do and whatever they introduce has to be consistent with their security and architectural requirements, especially the security side. So much issue with vulnerabilities and threats coming into the organizations. They're very concerned about unnecessary external entries into their firewalls.
Thank you, Jeff. And you said it, one of the things which we really, really take care at redSling is the secured architecture with a focus on data integrity and end user privacy. We provide enterprise-grade security level features, and it has got data encryption, access control, and complete compliance certifications. So we are there, we are secure, and the best part of security is the runtime is with the client. We do not control the runtime, it's completely disengaged. So that's one of the USPs which we have. Now, coming back to Sid and Dipali, I mean, you guys are really, flying through the development. What are you doing? Sid, Dipali, anyone can tell us?
Yeah, so Harsh, right now we are building the dashboard that we have showed in front of you before we have started building this. So as we have designed the template fragment in the section, we have just dragged that into the left hand side panel. So as you can see, there is a left hand side panel with 4 buttons that will show us how to capture lead, engage, reports, etc. Now we are building the chart section. Here the charts are manipulated. Sorry to interrupt you, Sid, but can you just explain our audience how you have manipulated these charts?
Oh, right. Apologies. I seem to have forgotten to take our audience through it. Right. So the basic flow of creating an application is we are focused on the approach of design first. So we focus on the design of the screen, then we move on to database connectivity. So we have a data model section where the databases can be created and the data can be stored and manipulated within the application. And then we can move on to implementing our functionality using a very important component known as the logic builder, which I will get to in a short period of time. Over to you, Dipali.
Yeah, thank you, Sir and
Thanks a lot.
Dipali. Yeah, it's really interesting because this is a USP. We begin with a design first principle. So, and here's the best part. You know, the screen which you're seeing is actually the development screen. This is not a preview section. So what you see is exactly what you get. So we begin with ideation. You can build, you can create, you can think what you want to do, and then we build the design. And after that, we will build the functionality, which Sid will take us through the logic builder, and you will see how easy it is to put the blocks in place, and you'll actually see the code getting generated. And the last, we deploy the application. So it is very simple. We ideate, then we design, then we build the functionality, and then we deploy. So it's an absolute end user delight. Now, Jeff, coming back to you, I know as Square Systems, and you are the go-to partners for redSling as a team. You are present through most of the geographies, or rather all the geographies which we function in. Where do you think redSling can be placed, and how is it that we can actually showcase what it has? Where do you see redSling as a platform getting used?
So we're tremendously excited about the US marketplace, and especially with regards to the enterprise customers. They're the ones that are facing in our opinion, they're the ones that are facing the biggest challenges for keeping up with the amount of work that they need to do, yet being constrained from resource availability and budget issues. So, when you start to talk about the ability of using a tool that eliminates non-value add functions, for example, right now, what we're looking at, as you said, what you see is what you get. This is not requiring a UX person to work on a Figma blueprint that then is being handed over to Sid and Dipali. This is being done real time. It's very interactive. It's very easy to have a business person participating in this. So you start to be able to realize the concepts of design thinking and the benefits of that. And literally, you're talking about garage development enablement here. So that is, I think, one of the things that as they become aware of what redSling is capable of doing and the security and architectural qualities that are built into this, the enterprise grade level of this, I think they're going to get very, very excited about this and say, this is a game changer.
Thank you, Jeff. One of the things which I'm so happy to mention, redSling harnesses the power of conversational AI whenever we build applications. So, it has all the capabilities of integration, AI chatbots, AI. So anyone, any organization which has AI or AI chat within its periphery and within its community use, we can absolutely integrate this with AI, because we firmly believe that redSling is the gateway towards faster, nimbler, agile, and beautiful application build via AI. So AI is very much part of this periphery, and because of this is absolutely tailored to all the industry. And here I would like to pull in Jeff again. Jeff, you've got across various industries, your solutions go through, and most of your clients are repeat clients. Which industry do you think will benefit the most using this platform?
I've got to say, with all sincerity, I think it's going to be universal. For example, redSling supports 3D virtualization. No other tool that we've seen in this space is capable of doing that. So when you think about the medical industry, when you think about Internet of Things concepts, when you think about research and development, There's all sorts of issues with regards to that. Manufacturing space, all of those can benefit from it, and the benefit at the real time of having no code capabilities. So I think you have all of that. Anybody that's doing digital transformation, that's universal across every single industry. Application modernization. You think about the banking and finance and insurance companies, massive amounts of applications that need to be modernized. Even some of the manufacturing companies that have very old stuff. So I think it literally is every industry.
Thank you, Jeff. As we are building away the application module, one of the things I would like Sid or the Pali to help us out is the translator, because we can translate to literally 200 plus languages. The entire application gets translated. So Sid, whenever you're a bit free from whatever you're doing, if you can showcase the translator. Oh, there you are. So you're putting in the translate. Yeah, go for it, Sid. Tell us what it is and how it benefits. Give us something in Spanish, maybe French, maybe Arabic. You take your pick and then talk about it to us.
Yeah, so the first language I have selected is Spanish. So it automatically changes or translates all the content on the page to Spanish. Similarly, if I were to choose something like French, yeah, it changes automatically. And in case we have to switch back to the original, we can switch that back too. So matter of seconds, we can translate the languages.
Wow. So, we can build applications here with the translator as a button, and also we can freeze the language in which the application is shown to the end user. So that's one of the USPs which we have, Jeff. Where do you think this can be used and deployed?
I think about the multinational corporations that I deal with and their desire to be able to sit there and say, fine, I've got English in the US. I've got English for most of Canada, but Quebec requires French by law. So I can have a customization for anybody logging into an app in Canada using French, but the rest of Canada is English. I can have Spanish for Mexican operations where I've got potentially customers there or plant operations. I can use Chinese easily in here, and the ability to be able to have that by region is just exponentially beneficial to them.
Thank you, Jeff. I wanted to check up with you. Where do you think the industry is headed? As a thought leader, you've been interacting with so many CIOs, CEOs, business leaders. Where do you see the industry going as far as the application development goes over the next 36 to 60 months?
Well, the industry wants to go to AI-generated programming languages, again, because they want to be able to do things faster and less expensively. But, the technology is not there yet. And so you're still faced with traditional development activities, and that requires human beings, which is, in my mind, a wonderful thing. Because I see some of the AI tools out there, and when they're suggesting that you put glue on a pizza, I'm a little bit concerned about writing code. So I think it's a great vision for the future, but for right now, what I see is customers that are sitting there and saying, I want this to be containerized. I want it to be consistent with best DevOps practices. I want it to be able to use APIs. I want it to be modular. I want it to be able to write native code for my mobile applications. And I want to be able to have it on a variety of environments and interact with things. I want to be able to interact with systems of record, regardless of what that is. I want to have a combination of on-prem and in the cloud storage, as well as application locations. I want to be able to customize the scaling of the front end versus the back end. And that's something we haven't even talked about yet with regards to the separate containers here. So these
Yeah,
are all reasons that when I, as a service provider, look for something to bring to my clients and recommend, these are the characteristics that I'm so excited about and why I'm advocating its use to our clients.
Pardon
Sorry
the
to interrupt you
interruption.
guys.
Right,
Yeah,
right, right.
I was
Sorry for
just
the
saying.
interruption, but Harsh, we are actually done with the design of the dashboard, and now
wow.
I've moved to the functionality. And
Okay.
to give the audience a brief, screen design is complete, but it is not fully completed without the functionality, right? And the logic builder is something that gives us access to that functionality. You can click on the puzzle icon on any component, which will take you to a separate canvas known as the
Show
logic
us
builder.
that, say if we can go back and show us how easy it is to access the logic builder. Yeah, there's the
Yeah.
icon. Where's the puzzle icon? Oh, yeah, the first left-hand side one, and then you go in. Yeah, go for it, Sid.
Yeah, and this is where the functionality of the page is developed. So while I'm doing that, Dipali, why don't you explain to our audience what the logic builder exactly is?
Sure, Siddhant. So as Siddhant said that the logic builder is basically a space where user can add the functionality using a pre-designed blocks. As you can see at the left-hand side, there are different blocks where you can just create different variables. We have match block, timer, and if or etc. Else conditions. So these are used for the functionality part. So if anyone drags a particular block in a code, displays at the bottom the the logic builder section that is built in the JS. So as you can see the below part that is showing in the black, the code is displayed in the JS form.
Yeah, and
Here
this
we
is
have,
kind of cool, Jeff. What happens is when you're building the blocks of the logic builder, you can actually see the application getting written down. So if you are an ACE developer, you can actually see what is happening. So literally, physically, this is what you see is what you get. You can actually see the code getting built below. Sorry, Dipali, please go ahead.
yeah. Thanks, Harsh. So here, right now, Siddhant is just dragging the different components that we have used in a different forms. We have created a form that we will be using for adding the leads. So we are just making that form functional by using different component instance. So for each element, we have a different component is instance. Here we are just dragging that, and while making the changes, we are using the database that we have created previously, so that the functionality works on.
Thank you, Deepali. I mean, to put it in a gist, these are fully customizable blocks. You have real-time visualization of what you're building. You can see the code getting generated. So if you are a person who really likes to see what you're doing and what kind of code is getting generated, it's below in the panel. Seamless integration. It integrates complex logic seamlessly with all aspects of the application. You're working on interfaces, databases, you're building APIs. The logic builder takes care of all of this, however complex the application may be. Conditional statements are absolutely easy. We can implement them with a flick of a button and drag. Data manipulation with precision is possible. You can perform complex calculations, algorithms. You can transform data and you can handle data diligently and you can process tasks visually. Also, it has got the error handling effectiveness. The logic builder allows you to create error handling mechanisms visually, ensuring that your mechanism and your application behaves gracefully even in unexpected situations. So, 6 powerful USPs of the logic builder: customizable blocks, real-time visualization, seamless integration, conditional statements, data manipulation, and error handling. It's a very powerful feature here. Coming back to you, Jeff, you have your organization across various geographies. What is the structure of S Square and where do you want to take S Square in the next 36 to 60 months?
So we're very definitely focused on transforming how we deliver application management and development and management services to our clientele. the biggest issue that we need to be able to do is to do work faster and less expensively. And you know, when you think about a project, you have typical size. A small project might be 3 or 4 resources, right? And a medium-sized project, you know, 6 or 8 people. A large project, 10 or more people. And of course, the time frames change with regards to that. But when you look at the type of collaboration capability to be able to join together and have multiple people working interactively, like Sid and DePauli are doing right now, that is exciting to me because I've got resources all over the world. I've got the bulk of my development resources sitting in Hyderabad. But if the customer asks us to be in same time zone, for example, in the US, I would place resources in our operations in Mexico. If we need to be in Asia Pacific, you know, we might be looking at something in Bahrain or Dubai or those areas, right? Europe, different time zones altogether. So to be able to use the technology at play, to be able to get on a Zoom call, to be able to get on a Teams call, and then to have something like this that works so interactively and collaboratively really transforms how effective my resources can be to an organization.
Thank you, Jeff. You know, one of the things which you know, the clients from my geography tell me, you know, if I ask them why do they choose redSling and what is that you know compels them to use your platform, the first thing is rapid prototyping. You know, you can test and you know your design ideas, your application ideas very fast. The second thing is customization. You know, it's literally pixel perfect, you know, customization, and you can build, as you can see. You do not need any other tools as far as design is concerned. So these are the 2 USPs I think they have taken up, and that's why they want, you know, most of as this side have got application factories where they have got these smart, small, powerful teams building applications. This is an ideal platform as we go forward. And obviously, the design is data-driven. If you see what Sid is doing right now, is he's getting in blocks, building and conceptualizing logic, and it's getting written down as a code. Jeff, if you know think through from a customer point of view, which are the major pain points which are hurting leaders today? You know, thought leaders, CIOs, CTOs, even business leaders. What are those 2 or 3 main challenges affecting, you know, the business leaders?
You know, the biggest things that I continue to see is organizations that are either trying to move to the cloud or to move off of the cloud because they have an investment in capital equipment that they own, and they want to make use of that CapEx investment. So they're trying to optimize where they're placing things, but they also need to be able to scale. So that's one of the big issues that we see. And again, those are features that are available to benefit a user using redSling. And that's part of why we like the idea of bringing this forward to them. I think the other things that they're really concerned about is how do they make sure that they can make changes to this over time. When you think about systems right now, you start to get aged systems that can no longer be upgraded because you can't understand them. The people that develop them are no longer around. It used particular technology that's no longer understood by the vast majority of people. So the concept of no code is very appealing for all those reasons. But the practicality of having an enterprise grade solution hasn't been really realized. And this gives them that. So I think this is the best of both worlds. It allows them to be able to build anything. This is not just lightweight stuff. For example, many people may have looked at the screen design and confused it with market competitors and say, okay, it looks just like everybody else's stuff. And everybody else's stuff is limited. I only have a few email options with regards to the buttons that I can use there. I only have a few databases that I can access and data types, etc. That's not true for redSling. It looks simple, but it's incredibly powerful.
Thank you, Jeff. I love to repeat what I said before when we began the development. 5 USPs of redSling, which are very, very rare and inimitable in the industry currently. First one, the zero code lock-in. There's no lock-in. This is called as a platform as a service, but there's no lock-in. Once you deploy the application, it is on the client premises. The runtime is fully separate, and it gives you security assurance. At the same time, no lock-in. The application can be deployed absolutely anywhere. So that's the first one. Second is clear, predictable pricing. No number of users, no end users. It just one license is equal to one application. And we have a fair usage policy per application. We can always discover the outcomes with a customer. Number 3, deploy anywhere. You can deploy it on the client private cloud. You can deploy it on client premises. Absolutely no problem. Third, the unique UI and UX capabilities. We were language translators. You've got AI-enabled help. We've got chatbots which can get integrated. So absolutely a delight as far as UI and UX. Last, collaboration. Here we see 2 young feisty developers building this, and they're literally flying through the screen. Both of them have experience which is under 24 months. In spite of that, look at the speed in which you can actually develop applications. So, this is 20 times faster as far as application build is concerned. Conventionally speaking, it's 3x. So if conventionally you can build an application and deploy it in 1 month's time, you can do this in 5 days. That's the speed of this application. So Sid, what are you doing right now? I mean, you're flying through building the logic with the logic builder and the code is getting generated below. If you can take a pause, a short breath, and tell us, what magic are you doing?
Right. So I am almost done with the development as well. I have finished up 2 pieces of logic so far, and I'm working on the third and the final one, where I'm setting up the final lead assignment block. So the lead capture is done, the invoice total block is done, and now I'm finally working on the lead assignment to a user. That's the block I'm working on right now.
I see. Okay, so let us know when you are done. But this is a real good speed, Sid. It's really nice. Yeah, so this is where the client delight comes in. You can literally offer them what you see is what you get. We've got unique, strong, all geography present system integrators like Square here, who can enable the client and literally be the client's delight across multiple facets of business usage and multiple business units. So that's the power of redSling as a platform. Jeff, my final few questions, and I need you to throw some viewpoints here. What skill sets do you think a system integrator like you would have as we go forward? When we discussed about AI, we discussed about where the industry is going to go. But what kind of skill sets do you have for deploying a platform like this? And as a system integrator, what should be the call to action from your customers if they want to use redSling?
So I think they can get away from focusing so much on the design concept or the actual programming activities and get more into the architectural standards and the business logic of it. So when you think about a traditional development activity, right? You have certain architectural standards that are being put together by the IT organization. and you're getting certain look and feel standards that are being established. And then the business is sitting there and writing requirements and throwing the requirement documents over the wall. What I'm starting to see here is the ability to work much more closely with the business people and to minimize the challenges of the technology, having to write the technology to the standards of the architects. This takes care of it for them. So now I can get more resources engaged from a variety of different locations, different skill sets, different backgrounds. I can focus on younger people. I can focus on more senior people. I can extend the life of somebody. For example, I can take somebody who is at the tail end of their career. They've been a let's be extreme here. They've been a mainframe developer for the bulk of their life, and the mainframe system is going away. But now I can repurpose that person and give them new life and new purpose in using the redSling tool. But I still keep that language or that knowledge of the industry inherent in their experience set, and I repurpose that in a new way. That's what I think organizations should start looking at, is saying, how can I maintain the inherent knowledge set that and the understanding of the business that's been built up over many, many years by giving people the ability to transfer into technology that gives them new life. And I think that's incredibly powerful.
Pardon the interruption, Jeff and Harsh. I am done with the functionality of the dashboard as well.
Wow. So thank you so much, Sid. Jeff, my final question. If any clients or our clients would want to get in touch with S Square or you to approach you, how do they get in touch with you?
Just send me an email, go onto our website, and reach out to me, whatever is easiest. We'd love to set up a call. We'd love to explain what we've done already and understand your challenges and help you figure out how to do it, how to apply this and implement this in the best way possible. You might be interested in having us do the development or the maintenance or the whole activity. You may be looking to just have us help you get a center of competence up and running. We can work with you in any way, shape, or form that meets your needs.
Thank you, Jeff. Sid, over to you. So, show us what magic have you woven till now.
Right. Yeah. So now that the design and the development is done, I'd quickly like to mention to our audience, they may have noticed that the screen design is slightly different from what I showed. Considering the fact that I only have one card, but that is only because this dashboard is open to innovation. Additions can be made as per the user's requirements, and I did not want to tie the audience down with repetitive work, so I've implemented the most essential features of today's session that I would like to showcase. Now, having talked about that, I will take you through what I have done right now. So based on the quarter, so I have populated my chart using invoice data that I have inputted in my databases. And based on the selection of the user, be it Q1, Q2, Q3, or Q4, the invoice total is calculated and displayed. And that can be verified because the chart also shows the same data. And as the users can see that Q3 and Q4 has no data for the invoice total, which is why it shows up as 0. And the second thing I did was implement the lead capture form where the user can input some fields and submit said lead. So I'd like to quickly take the audience through that flow as well.
Yeah, and this is the best part of it, where what you see is what you get. So the screen where development happens is actually the same screen which you're seeing. This is the screen which you're seeing is where development is taking place. So this is literally physically like a preview. So that's another USP which we have. What you see is absolutely what you get. So you do not have to go back and forth, shift screens, and to check for a preview. The preview happens here automatically. So really, this is delightful thing, Sid. Yeah. Also, we have something very interesting. Jeff has got two youngsters, two trainees building up a complete HR application module, trainees with experience which is very, very low, and they could build this up. So we are going to show that moment. Sid showcases what he's built so far. You know, there is a lag in the development area for about 5 to 10 seconds, but that's because it's the development area. Once this gets deployed on site, there is absolutely no lag. It depends on the infrastructure you have, and the runtime is yours.
Yeah, so the new lead that has been captured is now displayed in the table. And now I have assigned a user to the lead. So what additions could be made is you could come up with another user dashboard where the user can view all the leads that have been assigned to him or her. So these are the three pieces of logic that we have developed in such a short time. And just to talk a little bit about some features that really make development easier, Harsh, for me, is I basically could copy the code from one canvas to another. So that saved
Yeah,
up
it's
on a lot of time
seamless,
for me.
right? Yeah, so you can actually copy, whatever you built and take it and build some other part of the application. So it's absolutely seamless. You can copy paste, so the logic stays, and it really, really gives you that efficiency boost.
Right. But yeah, that brings the showcase of my screen to an end. So over to you, Harsh. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Sid. This is an absolute delight to see how you could build the application along with Dipali seamlessly. And this was in real time. It was not in fast motion, but it's so easy. I will go back to Jeff, where Jeff, we would love to see a showcase of the application which two young freshers have built. And I think it was a matter of I think a week or so where you could build this application. So over to you, Jeff, and also you can tell us a little more about redSling, and then we can take it forward.
Thank you, Harsh, and thank you to your team for that wonderful demonstration. Before I play that video, let me just ask the audience this question. Think about this. When was the last time our industry had the transformational ability to affect the total development lifecycle, reducing both time and expense? And that's one of the things as a managed application development and maintenance provider, we're always looking for ways to bring solutions to our clients that allow them to do more with less, meet the expectations of business, and reduce TCO. And that's why we're so excited about redSling, because it empowers us to do that. Now, in regards to the video that you were just referencing, we're using redSling to internally to transform ourselves. And in this video that I'm going to play in just a second here, as you said, talks about demonstrating building a HRMS system internally using redSling. But there's a little bit of a twist to it, and I'll explain that as we play the video. So as you said, Harsh, this is done by two freshers on our team. And we wanted to do a couple things with regards to this. First off, we had already built a HRMS system using another low-code solution, but we wanted to see what was the difference in both performance and experience with regards to using redSling versus that. So we chose to re-platform this. And what you're seeing here is that re-platformed instance work in progress. It has a few modules in place right now: employee, department, leave type, and my profile. And it will be enhanced to add dashboard, leave management, password reset, and asset management modules. And the question has to be asked, why do we do this? Why would we take a perfectly working solution and re-platform it? Well, as I said, we wanted to have firsthand understanding of the different IT developer experiences using redSling's design characteristics versus competitors. And the feedback that we got from our developers confirmed that first, their experience using redSling was very similar to the tools and programming syntax they use for traditional agile development, so it was easy to start utilizing. Second, it delivered on the promise to empower the developers to build at a very high level of innovation and high speed, but without the restrictions of other low-code offerings. And third, they affirmed that their appreciation for separate containers for the front end and back end, allowing for extensive customization, including where these are installed and how the architecture supports tailored front end and back end scaling to meet solution needs. And scaling is a big issue in the industry today, right? Whether you are talking about having to scale up or scale out and being able to do that separately for the different environments. We also wanted to do a comparison versus a COTS solution. So let's consider Workday. Employing, for example, 100 employees, Workday would cost approximately $50,000 annually, plus a one-time implementation fee of a further $50,000. And we'd be restricted to their processes. Now, as I said, we use 2 freshers in a projected total effort of 3 man-months, and we can implement this redSling no-code instance to meet our customized requirements for nearly 60% less first-year TCO, which we think is just awesome. Now, I don't want to confuse people with regards to this. I do highly recommend the use of COTS packages, but when you think about what the application development and maintenance needs of corporations are today, be it digital transformation, legacy modernization, or application integration, we can attest our advocacy for no-code using redSling. It's that much of a game changer and is absolutely critical to how we envision delivering application development and maintenance services to our customers. So I'm going to go through these last 2 slides very quickly here because we are running out of a little bit of time here, and I do want to make sure we've got a chance to answer some questions. We've talked about these issues so far, the industry being based on restrictive no-code solutions in the first generation, and redSling answering those. As we said, it invites great innovation capability, much more so than what the other offerings are. It does not create a vendor lock-in situation, which is absolutely huge for anybody that has to have access to the code for legal reasons, for government contract reasons, even to be able to just move the technology to a different platform, right? As you talked about, straightforward, simple pricing, and just so much more. The integration capabilities into search and social and AI and any other technology that complements it. These are all the things that are making us very excited about saying, yes, low-code, no-code has changed the calculus of application development in the IT world, but redSling is going to help us take it even further. So again, just some of the things we've talked about here. One of the big things I want to emphasize, a Kubernetes architecture for containerized applications that's absolutely consistent with DevOps best practices. The deployment capabilities of being able to run without being connected to the runtime. These are huge in my mind. So to close it out, S-Square has been providing application development and maintenance as part of our services since our founding in 2002. And as you've heard me talk about, you can see why I absolutely believe that no-code really has reached enterprise-grade level for application development and maintenance. And it's why we added it to our application development service line. At this point, I think our audience can also come to see why redSling allows professional IT departments to move no-code into a mainstream application development and maintenance toolkit. And that's huge, to actually be able to say, this is our standard. This is the way we're going to be developing going forward. And we see that redSling is the no-code that's going to enable us to deliver transformational application development and maintenance. Again, our emphasis is on helping customers that are dealing with complex mission-critical solutions, not niche solutions, not lightweight citizen developer solutions. So we are expecting big things out of redSling, and we're excited to be associated with it. So let me see where we're at on our time. Looks like we've got time for maybe one question. Operator, did we have any questions come in? Hello? Okay, I think that's probably an indication that we did not have any questions come in. So let me wrap this up by thanking our attendees for your interest. We hope you really found this innovation informative. You had the opportunity to see the demonstration of the technology. You've been told about the differentiating characteristics that make it a game changer in our opinion. And you've been presented with a sampling of complex, mission-critical, actual client solutions benefiting from this usage. So now what we want to do is to invite you to let's do the same for you. Give me a call and let me set up an appointment to understand what your challenges are and show you how we can use this technology to be a game changer for you. And with that, let me wish everybody a great day. And operator, you can end the webinar.